We're chasing several breaking news stories tonight. First, the suspicious death of a young woman in Newport News. Let's take you to the scene. We were right here on Tricia Lane tonight, where police say a 24-year-old woman died. Medics tell us they originally were called for a code blue, but it was too late. At this hour, the cause of the woman's death has not been determined, but in talking to police, we've learned it is, in fact, suspicious. We'll update you online and on air the moment we learn more. Also breaking tonight, right around the corner from that scene, a bicyclist is fighting for their life after being struck by a car. We know Newport News officers are on the scene here on Jefferson Avenue at Ivy Farms Road. We're told the bicyclist was struck by a Lincoln Town car. No charges have been filed at this time. Keep it right here. We'll update you the moment we hear more from police. Tonight, 5 people are dead in Maryland after a gunman opened fire inside a newspaper newsroom in Annapolis. Investigators still are working to learn why the man targeted the paper, but they say he made threats to the Capital Gazette on social media. ABC's Janae Norman is on the scene.
A gunman opening fire inside the newsroom of the Capital Gazette newspaper.
Several shots have been fired, possible shotgun, at least 10 shots heard.
Multiple law enforcement agencies rushing to the scene. Police there within 60 seconds of the first calls for help.
All units, limit your transmissions. Do we have any kind of intel on our shooter? My arm was a ponytail.
Phil Davis, a police reporter for the paper, on Twitter with chilling descriptions of his newsroom turned crime scene, tweeting, "Gunman shot through the glass door to the office and opened fire on multiple employees. Can't say much more and don't want to declare anyone dead, but it's bad." And writing, "There is nothing more terrifying than hearing multiple people get shot while you're under your desk and then hear the gunman reload."
First victim's name is Wendy Winters. Second victim is Rebecca Smith. Third victim is Robert Hyacin. Fourth victim is Gerald Fishman. And the fifth victim is John McNamara.
170 people evacuated safely, seen with their hands in the air outside. Officers not hesitating to enter the building surrounding the gunman, telling ABC News they recovered a shotgun on the scene.
It was very, very scary because you would never think something would happen to you at work.
Investigators have tentatively identified the suspect as 38-year-old Jared Ramos, and we're learning he may have targeted the newspaper over a lawsuit for defamation he filed against the outlet in 2015. Janae Norman, ABC News, Annapolis, Maryland.
Reaction from some politicians was swift. Senator Tim Kaine tweeting, "An American newsroom should never feel like a war zone. This is awful. My heart breaks for Virginia's neighbors in Maryland as more senselessly die from another act of gun violence. Grateful for first responders' actions at the scene." Tonight, dangerous rip currents take another life on the Outer Banks. The Hatteras Island Rescue Squad rushed to Avon this afternoon to find a number of swimmers in distress. Crews dispatched 2 jet skis to bring the swimmers back to the beach. A bystander on a surfboard also jumped into action, bringing 1 swimmer to safety. At least 6 people were rescued. A 48-year-old man from New York did not make it. We're told none of the swimmers was using a flotation device. The National Weather Service issued this warning about the high risk of rip currents on the waters along the Outer Banks, especially north of Rodanthe. That's indicated by the red line you see there along the coast. The yellow line on the southern part is a moderate risk of rip currents, which is where that group was swimming. This is the 4th swimming-related death off the seashore this year. In all, there were 7 fatalities in 2017 and 8 in 2016. And Aisha, it's very important that people heed these rip current warnings.
It's very important, David. And today, even at Virginia Beach, the ocean front, there was actually a moderate risk of rip currents. So it's something that you certainly want to keep in mind. And let me talk to you a little bit more about rip currents. Now, a rip current is just basically a current. It's a strong current that actually flows away from the coast out into the water. So if you ever get caught in a rip current, you do not want to fight that current. You're just going to tire yourself out. What you want to do is swim parallel to shore until you're outside of that current. So again, just let the water carry you out and then swim parallel to shore. And then that's the way that you want to try to escape that current. But again, you do not want to fight it. It's just going to make things worse. It's going to certainly be warm enough to head to the beaches once again tomorrow as well. Today we topped out in the 90s, 92 in Norfolk, 91 in Chesapeake, 90 was the official high in Elizabeth City. Tomorrow, not quite as many 90s 90s on the map. Most of us will be in the 80s, but it's still going to be a rather warm day. Here's a look at radar right now, just tracking a few thunderstorms moving over the Outer Banks at this point. We were mostly dry, but we did have a few isolated showers and storms pop up out there as a cold front continues to push through the region. Tomorrow, it's Friday. A lot of sunshine for your Friday. We'll start off in the mid to upper 70s, but tomorrow afternoon we'll climb into the upper 80s, so not quite as warm as today. But the heat builds over the weekend. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast coming up. David?
Aisha, thank you. You can stay on top of rip current risks and the hot weather all summer using the 13 News Now app. To download it, just go to our website, 13newsnow.com. New tonight, a Suffolk neighborhood is back open after a military-grade explosive device was found inside a home. Here's a picture from the scene. Wilroy Road was shut for several hours as officials investigated. Captain James Brogland says the item was determined to be an airsoft Claymore device and was deemed safe to transport by the Navy. The State Police Bomb Squad removed that device. A person is pulled from a burning garage in Norfolk this evening. A number of fire and rescue crews spent 45 minutes battling the blaze on Pamlico Circle, including 4 engines and 2 ladder trucks. The person pulled from the building is expected to be okay. We're waiting to hear what might have caused that fire. Continuing coverage tonight on that body found during the search for a missing Virginia Beach woman, Denise Martin. We were back out in the wooded area of Red Mill today. Detectives found a person dead on Wednesday morning, and it is important to point out once again that police have not confirmed the identity of that body. We spoke with a man who lives on the property, Gene Campbell. He still can't believe it.
Shocking that a body was back there and back behind my fence is horrible to me.
We're told the medical examiner's office is still working to identify the body and the cause of death. This is an open investigation, so if you have any information that might help, call police. Sad news to report from Dinwiddie. A body found in a wooded area is that of a missing 17-year-old who disappeared on Monday. We've also learned of an arrest in that case. 21-year-old Anton Coleman is charged with abduction in relation to Kaisha Adkins' disappearance. The Dinwiddie High School student found not far from her home around 7:30 this morning. Investigators are working to determine how the two are connected. Family members say Atkins had just made the varsity cheerleading squad. A not-so-smooth thief caught on camera stealing a tip jar out of a Chesapeake restaurant has been caught. That tonight, according to police. The money in the jar was meant for the restaurant's pregnant hostess who was saving up for baby supplies. 13 News Now reporter Robert Boyd has the story from Pirates Cove Restaurant.
Well, the theme of the restaurant is obviously pirates, but one customer took it way too far when he stole the tip jar earlier this month. The entire restaurant was just shocked and frustrated over this, and they are really glad an arrest has been made.
Right this way.
Savannah Nuzzo is often the first person you see when you enter Pirates Cove. Not only is she the hostess, but she's also in charge of takeout orders. And every tip she receives will go to her unborn child.
She works so hard. I mean, she's having a child in a couple months. She busts her butt for us.
But 2 weeks ago, Savannah's jar and about $30 in tips were stolen, all caught on surveillance camera.
It happened like right in front of me. He asked to place a to-go order, and then he was looking at the menu. I turned around for a second, and then he like slammed the menu down and grabbed the jar and ran out.
The entire Pirates Cove staff was in disbelief. They wanted this thief to walk the plank.
I was hoping that he would get caught so that he wouldn't keep doing this to more people.
The news of the bizarre crime quickly spread among the Cove's loyal swashbucklers.
20 tables at least say, did you guys catch the guy yet? Did you guys hear anything? Is there anything I can do to help?
Pirates Cove owner John Tillery posted the suspect's picture on social media.
Probably had 24 people call in and tell us who he was and turn the information over to the police.
On Wednesday, James Stevens of Chesapeake was arrested and charged with petty larceny.
And we hope that, through this process, he learns that, he needs to change his way and get on the right road, and maybe this will be the thing that wakes him up.
As for Savannah, since the theft, her new tip jar has become quite the treasure chest.
All these people raised so much more money for me and donated so much more money for me than was in the tip jar, which I'm so thankful for. I can't believe it. Some woman called today and wants to donate a maternity shoot to me. It's really nice.
In Chesapeake, Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.